Hello, people. We've decided to do the Halloween reviews, all 13 movies. We told you it was coming. It's finally coming. So let's get started. This is Cinema Therapy. So anyways, we're doing all 13 Halloween movies, like I said. We're starting with the first one from 1978.
I thought we were starting with Halloween Ends.
No, this is the first one.
This is the first one, are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Halloween Ends is the final one.
Wait.
Well, it's not going to be the final one because they
what-
keep going.
Tell me again how the Halloween franchise works.
I cannot explain all that right now.
I could, but it'd take a long time.
Yes, it would take a whole video.
Actually, for me, I'd probably take not even a whole video. I could explain it all in like 2 seconds, but I'm not going to.
Maybe we'll do a separate video that explains that.
Explain the really complicated timeline, but I can do it pretty well.
Right? So this is the main one. The main movie that started it all. With Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance, PJ Souls. Who else?
Nancy Loomis, or
Nancy.
Kais. Nancy Loomis was her stage name, and Nancy Kais is her real name. Then you have Sandy Johnson, who we met, the Sister Creature Con, who plays Judith Myers. I don't remember the other actors' names because they're like in a couple small roles, but smaller roles. But yeah, no, this is a classic movie. I think almost everyone knows about this movie, regardless if you're a horror fan or not. Almost everyone knows about Michael Myers or this poster, this iconic poster, or the Halloween theme song that has been like associated with horror and Halloween for decades. So yeah, let's get into it. This is debatably a slasher film, but not really a slasher film, about a little boy who on Halloween night has the urge and desire to murder his teenage sister upstairs after being intimate with her boyfriend. After the parents discover what has happened, then he ends up going to a mental ward for 15 years. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And he breaks out one night and goes after this girl who's babysitting a kid on Halloween night, and everything falls apart into a massacre. That's the rundown version. Laurie Strode is a high school girl with her friends, Linda and Annie. And her friends are kind of a bit more promiscuous and not as organized, to say the least.
Right.
And want to have some fun and just be
Normal
like
teenagers.
rascalish normal teenagers and get into mischief. And it ends up being their last Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie itself presents a lot of themes in it. He stalks Laurie Strode. This one, there's several timelines in this franchise. One of them being that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister.
So it starts in Halloween 2.
That's the story I like. I think it makes more sense. I think it just makes more productivity when he's chasing after her.
I don't know if I necessarily needed that. However, I think the reason why I like it the most is more so because of the movies and the way they explain the lore. I think I do like the idea they could be an animated figure, but I think they handle that poorly once they do that, like in Halloween 2018, where they're not siblings. Because the thing is, it's not the fact that they're not siblings that's the problem, it's the way they explain the fact, like they kind of just act like, oh yeah, he would just stalk her, and they don't give
they don't give a reason as to why.
Or like why, or if he's able to hold grudges, or how that works for him, or what it does for him to feel that kind of grudge all those years later, to kind of just say that he does have one. I like this because as much as it in Morning feels maybe a tad bit hokey, I kind of liked it because I like the idea that this was the sister that, got away, and I think it made it more
interesting.
I think they made it more plausible to have the sequels too, because in a couple of sequels he's not going after Laurie, he's going after other characters that are all related to her or stepsister, who was adopted sister in Halloween 6 too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it shows that it's not it gives them more purpose to feel like they have a place in the franchise, even if you don't get those characters as much or you don't like those stories as much. It gives that more plausibility to feel like they have purpose, and so I liked that. But this movie is basically just this slow build of just this random stalking throughout Haddonfield, Illinois, a made-up town in Illinois, because that's what John Carpenter came up with. And that was shot in LA with a bunch of, like, it was just a friend project, really. He just got a bunch of friends together. They got leaves, they would pour them around, and he just goes after Laurie. And over time, they all get killed off one by one until Laurie survives. And the whole thing at the end of the movie that became iconic and a staple for horror movies to come was the fact that the killer disappeared, got away, and he got shot 6 times off the balcony, and they left it open for part 2.
They did.
And it wasn't intended to have a sequel at all, and John Carpenter never wanted to. But as fans watched the movie more and more, at first it didn't do too well, and it got watched more, and they decided that the fans wanted more Michael Myers, which I'm glad they did, because I love Michael Myers. He's my favorite horror killer of all time. And it's my favorite horror franchise of all time. It's just, I think it's one of the most iconic. This movie really inspired me. It really changed the way I saw horror, and I just loved it so much. It goes into the slasher realm without having to be a slasher movie, if that makes sense. It didn't really use that much blood at all. It was more so up to the imagination. All the violence is sort of implied, and it's not. And in the sequels, they would go more into slasher direction, but this is just an iconic film that I think blends everything you want: suspense and a little bit of like adventure, comedy, and really just gives you good scares and a great soundtrack, and it's just such an iconic movie. Such an iconic and short and simple movie. It didn't need to do anything like really complicated. It really just focused on relationships and trying to get this really scary mission across, and I think it did just that. I love this movie. I think this is probably my favorite horror film of all time for a lot of reasons, even though there's so many to name. But I give this movie obviously 5 stars. It is one of the most iconic movies to me always, I think, and it'll always remain a huge reason why I love horror movies so much and always have a special place in my heart.
Yes. If you haven't seen Halloween, definitely watch it. I'm sure it's streaming on Amazon Prime. It was on Shudder.
Yes.
But I don't know about that anymore.
I know I remember watching the DVD for the first time with my mom. We got the DVD from like a store, and that was my first time watching it. I still have the DVD to this day. But yeah, just an iconic movie. I really don't have much more to say. Just watch it if you haven't. I don't know how you haven't.
And stay tuned for Halloween 2.
Sounds good. See you guys.